of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribe-Light, Some Dumb American, and their joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Reject PPC and the One-Ton Hammer, the group rotates hosts known as Zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host for this evening, One-Ton Hammer.
I will be your Zookeeper tonight, Reject.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am the Lucky Pop-Tart Inquisitor.
Sanguine.
Skep Tock.
I'm Prospero.
Cassie.
And I'm Delahazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions, and special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
So, if you're not at work today or you're working from home, you may be wondering, what day is it? Todd has the answer for us.
It's Monday.
Let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. Let's find a nasty, slimy, ugly alien to fear. There's no more cutesy stories about E.T. phoning home. Let's learn to love our neighbors like the Christians learned in Rome. We know we ought to hate them. They're different, you see. We've seen they're mean and ugly on movies and TV. The folks that ought to know have told us how it's got to be. The gospel truth is found in scenes from Alien and V. Let's wipe out any life form that seems to be a threat. We'll serve them up a genocide they never will forget. 'Cause if we miss a couple, they'll breed a couple more. And soon we'll all be hating twice as many as before. You see, aliens can never be as good as humankind. A more delightful race than us you'll never ever find. So step aside, you star slime, we're ready for your worst. We know you want to beat us, enslave us and defeat us, oppress us and browbeat us unless we get you first.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the zoo. I'm your Zookeeper tonight, Inquisitor. Minions joining me are Mr. Adam.
Hello.
And Eeyore.
Burn the witch.
Yeah. How are you gentlemen this evening?
Doing pretty good. Dude, it snowed last night.
I know. I woke up this morning, went outside, and saw that when I let Jake out, and I was all like, I'm glad I don't have to go to work right now.
What, you guys got caked with snow?
Yep.
Hey, this time it came from southwest of you. We're being hit second.
I still blame you guys.
Yeah.
You know I always will.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight, Eeyore?
Now, what I was saying just before we were about to go live is, do you think maybe bringing a hoardy guard mentality into the sisters will just lead to trouble?
No, Battle Sisters can be hoarded pretty well. The major problem that you're going to run into with the Battle Sisters versus something like, say, the Guard, is that you're going to run out of points much faster with Sisters than you will Guard, and you're going to be limited in your options a lot more with Battle Sisters. The major reason why people take things like Retributors or Dominions is to focus all of their heavy and special weapons into one squad, so that way you're not having to sit there and worry about or, part them out into your regular Battle Sister squads.
A retort is, you can now have 2 special / heavies, 2 dedicated specials, and the Sister Superior's combi all in one big squad of 20.
You can, yes, but do you have that many actual weapons in the kit when you buy them? No.
Isn't the Battle Sister Squad the same as the Dominion Squad, giving you 4 of each special?
No, because the Dominion Squad, I believe, is only 5 minis, so I think it's the same as the Retributor Squad. So they'll give you, and it's not even a full complement of all the same special weapon. I think it only comes with 2 of each. So if you wanted 4 multi-meltas, you can't do that. You need to buy 2 boxes.
And to get those 20 base models, I do need to buy that Betty.
Well, no. To get 20 base models, then the best way to do it would be to buy 2 of the Retributor squads and 1 regular Battle Sister squad. But I'm not sure if the arms are going to fit the torsos for the regular Battle Sisters. Because of the way, GW has been making their sculpts now.
I hear what you're saying.
It was much better and easier to collect the Battle Sisters back in the day when they were pewter, simply because you could go to, the comic book store or whatever, wherever you were buying it. I was buying it from a comic book store, and buy a blister with just a Meltagun Battle Sister. And I would buy 4 of those, biggity bam, there's my Dominion squad. And they were also really reasonably priced. I think they were like maybe $2 for a Battle Sister with a special weapon, $3 for a Sister Superior. I do remember they were $6, I believe, for 3 Battle Sisters in the blister pack. So, yeah, when I collected my pewter Battle Sisters, it was actually really easy and really cheap compared to like some other armies at the time. But gone are those days because, pewter's not a cost-effective medium to produce miniatures for. I get it.
I think I just checked, and you are closer to being right than I am.
What?
The standard Battle Sister Squad's alternative kit loadout is the Celestine Squad, I believe it's called.
Oh, Celestine Squad, yeah.
And it only comes with 2 of each of the 3 specials and a combi for the Superior.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
Whereas the Dominion Distributor is 5 models. You can hook them up however you like.
Yeah. Well, but again, they only come with 2 of each of the guns. I know that for a fact because I've got that kit sitting right over there.
Yeah, I thought it was Standard Sister and Dominion, and it came with 4 of each.
No. The Retributors, I know for a fact, have the only 2 of each because I wanted this second Retributor squad that I got to be, it was from the Piety and Pain box that I went halvesies with a buddy of mine with, but I wanted to kit that group out with 4 multi-meltas, but there's only 2. So I'm going to have to kit it exactly like my other Retributor squad, which is going to be 2 multi-meltas, 2 heavy bolters. So how are you doing, Adam?
Yes, after we fervently talked about nuns with guns.
Nuns with guns.
Fuck yeah.
No, I'm doing alright. kind of bouncing between playing Monster Hunter and drawing, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you were saying before we went live that you were drawing a bit. I should get back into drawing. I'm just kind of fallen off by the wayside, and the only creative stuff I do is just paint minis. That's not to say that this isn't a fulfilling or rewarding hobby by itself or anything, you know, but I'm just saying. I miss drawing sometimes.
It's one of the rare occasions that I've found a spark and a drive to get this project done. I think it's feasible enough that I could get it done quickly before I, lose the ambition. So to
Yeah.
speak. It's the only hiccup really that I'm running across at this point is trying not to be too gaudy. Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, yeah, this is not simple at all.
Yeah.
But it's just because I think my mindset is still in this period of time, so I'm looking at it like, oh yeah, you should have this symbol and this symbol and this thing and this thing, and yeah, it's a mess. I gotta clean it up, but I'm having fun with it, so that's the
good.
important thing.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Oop, hang on. Let me just adjust the camera here so I can keep her where I need her. There we go. Now I need to get my flesh tone. Kislev flesh. Why the Eldar gotta be white, huh? Because they're supposed to be fair-skinned and fair-haired.
Oh, so you're done painting, huh?
Is that straight from the lore?
Yes. Just like Tolkienian elves,
Tolkien never mentioned anything about hair color.
Well, fair-skinned.
And beautiful.
Yes. I thought he did mention that they were supposed to be fair of hair as well.
No. Unfortunately, and this is largely Jackson's fault, only a select few elves were mentioned by Tolkien explicitly to have like blonde or fair hair. Thranduil actually being the best example, and this is what has led, like father, like son, to Legolas always being portrayed with blonde hair. But his hair color is canonically unknown.
Oh, Legolas's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, not anymore.
Screw Jackson.
Jackson did the best he could with a flawed premise. I said it. I don't think Tolkien's prose were that good. I never have.
Oh shit! Speaking of fucking movies, did any of you see the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer?
No.
What?
Have you seen the trailer for Thor? I don't know if you heard me, so but yeah, no, it's well, it's a trailer.
I'm gonna not see it just on principle, though. I'll pass on Femthor, thank you.
I don't even know what it's about. I don't think they even showed like where a protagonist would come in. It was like Thor talking about how he's gonna try and find himself, and it just showed him in a bunch of different random scenarios. It made no sense to me. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it's one of those.
They get what's her nuts to play Jane Foster Thor?
I think so. It looked like her at the end. They showed her at the end. So.
Well, as long as Disney can keep all their woke bullshit in the MCU, I'm happy.
You know they're going to have to do some woke shit for Femme Thor. Are they going to go full retard and do the Boar unsolicited opinions on Israel? We don't know, but you know.
I think they showed a guy holding a thunderbolt, so I think they might do like he goes to Zeus, and because there is a Hercules in the Marvel comics.
Yeah.
And I think Thor does fight him a few times, so
yeah,
maybe do that. But again, like I have no idea because they were just there was a bunch of random shit. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Although I will say, I did chuckle a bit. There's a part where Chris Pratt's telling him like, just remember I told you that, you know, the people you love are staring you right in your face or something like that, and, you know, showing a shot of the Guardians. You know, like I think he's implying like, yeah, this is my family, you gotta look at the family stuff. And then Thor slowly, you know, comes into frame, and he's like, no, I'm not talking about you. And he's like, no, I was just thinking. It's like, I was like, yeah, that was okay. Damn it.
Well, I'll say this, like, my whole problem with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was not in Chris Pratt's performance. I always thought that he did a fairly good job as Star-Lord in any of the stuff that I've seen him in. I will say this, the reason why I hated Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was because of the wasted potential and the dumb story involving fucking Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah, that was poorly done.
Very.
That's what I mean, like because even Chris Hemsworth as Thor, like it's shit, I forgot that word. But you know, he does a pretty decent, you know, portrayal of him.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I like so much, you know, he's so goofy all the time, but he at least he does a good job of him, you know. And somebody pointed out on Twitter that when because they show an image or a bit where he's, you know, losing the dad bod, and he's wearing a baseball cap, and they're like, oh, it looks like the guy from Adventures in Babysitting.
I don't know anything about Adventures in Babysitting.
You've never seen Adventures in Babysitting?
No.
Oh shit. Okay, you know what? For every horror movie that you show me, I'm gonna show you one of these fucking movies.
Was it a like a comedy?
Yeah, comedy adventure, I guess. It has. Oh man, it has that lady from. I can't remember her name. She was in fucking Karate Kid 2, I think. But it's this girl, and she's babysitting. She has to go help her friend who's in Chicago. Her friend was gonna, you know, run away, and she went to a train station in Chicago or some shit. And so now this lady has to go rescue her, and a whole bunch of shit just happens. And they get caught up with like this drug deal or gang deal or some shit.
Gangs
Fucking-
in Chicago? Ah, how unrealistic. Tell me more.
Oh no. Dude, okay. There's a part where the car gets a flat tire and a tow truck comes by and the dude has a hook for the hand. And so they're all like freaking out because they're suburban people. And there's like an early 80s movie, I think. So, you know, like, holy shit, I've never seen a hook for him. And the dude's like, it's okay, you know, fucking someone ran it over or some shit. And so he fixed the tire, or he's gonna fix the tire, but he has to tell him. But they take a detour, and he finds out that his wife is sleeping with somebody else. So they pull up in front of the house, and he goes in there with a gun. This is the Adventures in Babysitting in Chicago, and it does take place in Chicago. So, like I said, hey, maybe the top cat with the gun. for a reason.
Yeah, he's our Minion Chicago mascot.
Oh, it's great. But yeah, there's a part in there where they go to pick up the car, and the guy they pick up. Okay, there's a little girl in it, and she's like obsessed with Thor, right? She has a hammer, she has the helmet, she's constantly saying like catchphrases like Thor is, you know, is almighty and shit, whatever.
The almighty Thor.
Yeah, and at the end when they go to pick up the car, the dude who is you know, the mechanic guy, he has a blue tank top on, blue jeans, and a red baseball cap, but you know, long blonde hair, and you know, built dude. And so she thinks it's Thor, and she's like, "Oh, I know why you forgot. It's because you don't have your helmet. Here you go. You can take mine." And the dude's like, "Hey, don't worry about it, kid. I got one at home." And he tosses it back like to some, like, you know, "Oh shit, thanks, big mean green," or whatever. But yeah, no, yeah, they're comparing it. Wow. I'm sorry, dude.
That's fine. That's what this is designed for, right?
What's that?
That's what the minions are designed for, you know, these sorts of conversations. They evolve, my man, they evolve.
I think I put Eeyore to sleep.
I think you might have. I don't hear him. My Shroudrunner done here, because that'll give me an idea of what the other two will take to paint. Because I've got a grand total of 3 Shroudrunners.
Oh well, Dar.
There he is.
Yeah, I have my own dog to worry about.
Oh, okay.
What's for dinner?
He's Canadian, not Korean, Adam.
Oh. No, I thought he said have my own dinner to think about.
I thought he said dog.
I did say dog.
Yes.
Oh shit, my bad.
Now my plans, Eldar's side, are full mechanized. Wave serpents everywhere.
I say I'd like to, but at the same time, just a triple shuriken cannon wave serpent, no upgrades, no, you know, crystal targeting matrix, no vectored engines, none of that, is 150 points. So for that, I just said, yeah, 1 is good. I'll have one Guardian squad be, hanging out in the back, not in a Wave Serpent. The other Wave Serpent tooling around to get to a midfield objective. The Rangers just harassing people, and then dropping Falcons with my Aspect Warriors on top of the enemy.
Yes, but your Falcons hold Banshees.
And Fire Dragons.
If I were to use it, it would just be Fire Dragons.
Yeah, I'd have both. And I have 2 Foot Seers to go along with them as well. Fire Dragons are great, though. I'll say this about Fire Dragons. The Exarch powers for Fire Dragons, unimportant. None of their buffs that they get for Exarch powers are so stellar that you need to take them. So you're actually taking them with a bit of a discount compared to some of the other Aspect Warriors, where, like, an Exarch power is almost required for them to function.
Now, I'm certain GW didn't design it that way.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's certain Exarch powers that you can get on Fire Dragons that can make them better, but they're not so game-breaking that they're required when you take them. So, yeah.
Besides, Fire Dragons are probably effective against Space Marines with that Armor of Contempt bullcrap.
Oh, they are. So are Howling Banshees. The ones that aren't are going to be Striking Scorpions.
With the amount of mortals Scorpions can put out?
Only AP1 on their chainswords.
Still's generating mortals.
Not reliability enough to count on. And the Exarch power only affects the Exarch. It doesn't affect the whole unit.
And here I was hoping that they would be good.
Nope. Striking Scorpions still suck. Sorry.
Crumble, crumble, crumble.
I mean, I was thinking about getting some Striking Scorpions while I was at Adepticon, but, after really kind of doing a deep dive on the rules, I was just left going, meh, no, I'll pass. Thank you. I'll stick with my Howling Banshees.
Much better use for that elite slot.
Yep. In Howling Banshees.
I would have said Wraith Constructs, but to each their own.
I only have Wraithlords. Those are the only things that I have. No Wraith Guard, no Wraith Blades. That's not to say that they aren't good. I'm just saying that they're not fast enough for Samhain.
You and your speed.
Well, they are red, so as Orky logic would dictate, they must go faster.
So what you're saying is I should paint my purple.
So you can be stealthy? Yeah. If you want.
It's really spreading, getting worse, always getting.
I would say it's funny. A buddy of mine was telling me about a synergy combo with the Eldar that requires using a Warlord trait, a custom craft world, and a relic, and then getting 3 4s on Strands of Fate. But imagine this, right? You take a Farseer with Mark of the Incomparable Hunter and Kurnius's bow. You get within shuriken pistol range. You get 3 shots from your shuriken pistol. All 3 shots, no need to roll to hit so long as you've got those 4s on your Strands of Fate dice. Automatically generate 6 mortal wounds.
Oh.
That's in the shooting phase. Not in the psychic, not counting the psychic phase where you can generate more because you're a Farseer.
That's nasty.
Can be. However, I told him, yeah, you do that, I'll play against you with my Eldar, and guess what I'll take? 11 Rangers, 3 Shroudrunners. Guess where all those sniper rifles are getting pointed?
Why would you do that to the poor Farsi?
I bet he didn't see that coming in the runes.
Probably not. And I did some more research into that Abaddon combo I posted in Dungeon Chat a little bit ago. Turns out that I was partially wrong. You can get it up to Strength 7, 16 attacks plus 2d6.
Yeah. I was going to say, did you not factor in Hateful Assault?
No, I did factor in Hateful Assault. I'm getting the extra strength and AP from a psychic power.
Oh, okay.
And the 2d6 is off of that Demon Blade's ability, so they can't be ones, or that's a mortal wound.
Yeah. Against Abaddon himself, yeah.
On Abaddon, yep.
Yeah, for Dracnian.
Yeah, if all... I can't believe it. Abaddon is such a meme in the lore, but a beast on the tabletop.
Well, it's only because of the technicalities for his rules. It's not because he was intended to be that nasty, you know?
I mean, they all just work together, though.
Yeah. Well, I'll say, it's proof to the fact that that core became a thing, that Abaddon will not retain that sort of lethality. Simply, well, that sort of lethality in the same way, at least.
Most of that he'll probably keep to him, because it's contained within his own character sheet.
Yes,
I mean, data.
But you remember for a fact that all of the abilities that give rerolls, the character can't use it on themselves anymore.
Well, I didn't count those rerolls.
I'll say that's why Abaddon is so scary, because it says
all that and reroll everything.
It says reroll any hit on Abaddon, so that means, or reroll any roll to hit. So that means you can reroll successes and fish for those Death to the False Emperor dice, which is the reason why Abaddon is scary.
Which because of his Warlord trait are on a 5+.
Yes.
And those are two things I'm expecting to change. Death to the False Emperor being only core in character, not affecting the thing. Oh yeah, just core in character. And the other thing, the rerolls. He'll probably get the same Chaos Lord reroll, but they can only affect core.
Yes. I would say that's the way Chaos Lords are going to be when the Codex finally comes out.
Everything else is down to how good Dracnian will be. Oh, failed the dawn.
Listen to the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack.
Excellent.
Personally think Silent Hill 3 is the better game, but Silent Hill 2 soundtrack is really good.
The soundtrack is definitely part of the game, and sometimes a really good game can be ruined by a god-awful soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes a mediocre game can be made absolutely fucking amazing by a great soundtrack.
It sounds like you have a case in point.
Well, Silent Hill 2. I think Silent Hill 2 is a good game. I just don't think it's deserving of all of the hype that everyone gives it, but it's got a great soundtrack. So I give it a, much higher regard simply because of that.
Indeed.
Question is, what color do I want to make this woman's hair? Because the driver of the bike doesn't have their head exposed. It's a woman. I only know that because I put the model together and she had boobs. But she's wearing a helmet, has a hood on, and you can't see her boobs when she's on the jet bike. But this one has her head exposed because she's not wearing a helmet. So what color do I want to make her hair?
Remind me, did JW release a actually good Guardian kit?
Oh yeah, I like the Guardian kit. I'll say this though, the new Guardian kit is booty fucking licious. Even the males have like these big juicy dump truck asses.
Jesus!
All I'm saying.
Stick to the Black Guardians, got it.
All I'm saying is that stupid sexy Flanders. I mean, I wouldn't expect any less from a race that literally fucked a god into existence. So
And if there is one emotion that they haven't managed to purge from themselves, it's their conceit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they still think they're hot shit. That's why I kind of like Samhain the most. Like, Samhain is obviously where the Exodite comes from the titular cartoon, the Exodite. And, yeah, he's like even giving concessions to the humans that they're not naive enough like the Tau Empire to think that they can be, have this higher sense of morality, or so to speak, over the rest of the universe, that they will do what they need to do to survive, period. And so he gives the humans credits for that.
Jeez, if only a couple other people saw it that way, we could get rid of the true evils of the galaxy, the Orcs and the Tyranids.
Oh, the Orcs aren't evil. Come on.
Oh, okay. You go wherever you like, and you just cause a ruinous time. You wreck everything.
Yeah. I say, the only reason why the Orcs are the way that they are is because the Eldar, right? Because the Eldar threw a hissy fit because they weren't the favored children anymore for the old ones.
The old ones were Catan food by that point, weren't they?
No, they were still around, but they were, and they weren't Catan food like ever. What it was is that they were corrupted by the warp. They corrupted and were corrupted by the warp. And so because of that, they decided to fuck off from the galaxy, knowing the kind of damage that the, best psychers in the universe could cause if they stuck around the other races of the universe while the warp was still a thing. So that's why they fucked off. And it's been speculated that
most that weren't turned into Catan food. I know a sizable amount of the old one population went that way.
I know it's also a speculation that the old ones were the ones that created the Tyranids, specifically to undo all of their mistakes.
For some reason, I feel that one gets that whole theory is just people conflating Forerunner theory, Forerunner lore from Halo into Warhammer.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I doubt the Tyranids are a galactic reset switch. if they are one, to an extent explicitly avoiding Necron worlds, and two, leaving no world they touch habitable once they're done.
To be fair, they don't avoid Necron worlds. It's just that there's no biomass to feed on Necron worlds typically.
Behemoth went around an entire sleeping dynasty to get at McCrag. And we've seen the same thing from Hydra and the third one, Leviathan. And yes, I did say sleeping. Any creation of the old ones would go right after the Necrons first, and would probably be designed to eat Necron, quote-unquote, biomass.
Well, there is no biomass to a Necron.
That's why I said quote-unquote. In the same way that Kronos seems to have some ability to eat warp entities. Or is moving in that direction. At least I think I'm right on Kronos. That is the High Fleet that goes after Chaos, right?
I don't remember. I don't know anything about the specific High Fleets other than Leviathan now being the big nasty.
Yes.
The big
With three main thrusts, one blunted at Ball, the other in a constant war for Octarius, and the third slowly moving towards Terra. Though, as much as you want to think Ball was a feather in the Blood Angel's cap, you had help from a Cordite demon.
And every Blood Angel successor chapter. It wasn't the Blood Angels by themselves.
True. Though I would think that Cornite Demon had a lot more motivation than many of the successors.
Yeah.
If there's going to be one person to conquer Ball, it ain't going to be no bug. So saith said Cornite Demon.
I would have loved to see Kabanda stick around after, making the bugs of Leviathan fuck off, and have, like, Mephiston break his back just like Sanguinius did.
Not Dante?
Dante was probably too weak at the time. Dante squared off against the Swarm Lord and nearly lost.
Fair enough.
But Mephiston by this time was already Primaris, so...
He had a pretty good shot of taking, I assume, some form of Bloodthirster or Demon Prince over his knee.
Kabanda is an Exalted Demon Prince. Or, no, Exalted Bloodthirster.
Right. Demons is another thing that's going to be interesting coming up this summer.
We'll see. Don't know when they're going to be coming out, but I'm not confident that the Guard are going to be coming out before them now.
Oh, come on. I said they come out at the same time.
No. Demons are going to come out before the Guard. Guard are going to be dead last. Leagues of Voton are going to come out before fucking Guard.
Have you really become that jaded about it?
Yes. GW does not give a shit about the Guard. Not even the most remotest of a shit.
Okay, GW just gave us universal, well, near universal auto wounds on 6s. Come on. They care a bit.
It's still a boo-boo all gone bullshit patch fix. And it's still not going to win Guard any spots at tournaments, especially paired with Hammer of Contempt.
Armor of Contempt doesn't exactly go against how the Guard have managed to survive this long. Throw enough shit at the wall, enough of it's gonna stick.
It doesn't against Custodes, I can tell you that from fucking experience.
Well, jeez. Unaugmented Guardsmen against the Golden Boys themselves. Yeah, that's a foregone conclusion.
It shouldn't be. 50 points of Guard should be able to kill 50 points of Custodes. It can't.
Isn't that 10-to-1 odds?
It should be 1-to-1 odds. 50 points versus 50 points.
10 Guardsmen versus a single Custodian Guard.
Yes.
Right. You can't, with 40 shots, deal 3 wounds to a Custodes.
I have tried, and it has not worked.
Jeez.
A 2+ save is nothing to sneer at. And that's the reason why it's even worse with things like Armor of Contempt.
Custodes don't get it.
Yes, but Thousand Sons do.
Oh, rubrics have a 2+ save?
They can versus damage 1 weapons. All is dust.
Sad Guardsman noises.
Like I said, Armor of Contempt fixed the wrong issue. It's going to put Space Marines back on top and Sisters of Battle marginally better. It was designed for Sisters of Battle, and it helps Space Marines far more than Battle Sisters. I will not at all be surprised if the next tournament meta comes out and they immediately put out another balanced data slate removing Space Marines and Adeptus Astartes and Heretic Astartes from Armor of Contempt, and have it be just Adeptus Sororitas. Like it should have always been.
Space Marines have suffered Codex creep themselves. They deserve something.
Not nearly as bad as other races. The Necrons deserve it far more than fucking Space Marines.
Oh, why do you think in the last balanced data slate half the Codex gained core?
And I say, and with Armor of Contempt completely fucked over one of the most popular dynasties.
Oh?
Mefrit. I have to get within half range of a Space Marine army to break even.
You get extra range from Mefrit to begin with.
Yes, and you have to get within half range to get 1 better AP. But regular weapons only have AP 1, so they're nothing. They're AP nothing unless I'm at half range to break even. Everyone else is worse.
I'm not even a Necron player, and I know warriors with Gauss flares have been out of the meta since 9th edition came out.
I'm talking.
Why are you talking about Gauss flares?
I'm talking about Reapers, man.
Reapers have 2.
And you need to get within half range to be able to make them effective because they have only half the range of fucking flares.
Right. Half. Yes, 12. Upgraded to 15 with Mephrit, but...
And you can't get within half range to get the extra AP from Mephrit by Veil of Darkness with Reapers. You physically can't do it. So it takes a turn to move closer.
Sounds like the rumblings about Immortals regaining their spot is becoming more true.
My whole thing is, and even then, Immortals lose a lot of effectiveness as well. You get within half range for Tesla weapons. Awesome. You get AP on a weapon that normally wouldn't have it. Oh, Armor of Contempt.
With Mephrit, you can reach out with Strength 5 AP 1 against Armor of Contempt. It's already been factored in at 33 inches. You get under 16, it's AP 2. And AP 2 is where you become effective against 3 save.
Let's face it, the reason why this stuff was happening is because people were whining about Space Marines having a 3+ save and never rolling 3+. Because everyone has at least AP 1. That's why this is happening.
Yes, it is a direct answer to Space Marine's biggest weakness. Stuff with AP.
It's literally everything's weakness is stuff with AP. Space Marines are no different from anyone else, yet they want to be treated different because their players are mostly man-children. But yet, what do orcs do when the subject of AP gets brought up? Oh, you mean AP 1, the thing that's negated by Armor of Contempt, pierces my orc armor? Oh, okay. You see me whining about that? No.
Don't you whine a bit about morale nowadays?
Not really. If you do it right, you can keep your forces that are engaged and actually losing and losing models to have to worry about morale to maybe 1 or 2 if you do it right. And because of that, you can just use Insane Bravery. Just keep a CP in your pocket.
Yes, but that is indeed a long fall from where orcs used to be in relation to leadership. Oh, I have a leadership of 40.
Yeah. Well, at best 30, but you know. Because it was replace your leadership with the number of models in the mob.
Or the nearest unit. Or one unit within, like, I forget the exact number of inches.
Well, I'm just saying that's what you can get all the way up to is 30, because that's the maximum squad size.
Mm-hmm. But nowadays, you're stuck with 5s and 6s. Or is it 6s and 7s?
For leadership?
Yeah.
I believe it's 7 with the boss knob.
Mm-hmm. Any shared leadership roles to get the 8s and 9s on the war bosses?
Yeah, breaking Eds. War boss gets it innately.
So 8 if near a war boss.
Yeah. And can never be modified. But that also requires being near the war boss.
Yes, there's the other side of the bad side for orcs.
Yeah.
The war boss.
Per detachment, but yes, the war boss. If you take 2 detachments, you can have 2 war bosses.
That'll be 2 CP, please.
No, it's not. Well, I'm saying,
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
for the detachment, yeah. Okay, you got it. But, you know, who cares? You're probably going to use that extra detachment to get access to stuff you wouldn't get normally anyway. Unless you're playing a speedwa, in which you're a fucking munchkin that you're part of the problem.
Why, is that a buggy rule per detachment?
It's just the fact that you are going to be playing nothing but Outrider detachments if you're playing a speedwa. And therefore have way more than enough fast attack choices to be able to take everything you want. And the first Outrider detachment doesn't cost any CP either. So long as you're a speedwa.
But everyone after that is 3.
Yeah. People usually take 2 Outrider detachments. That's how it used to work. And then before the whole changed with Nakmund, take a Freebooter and an Evil Sun detachment.
Yeah. I really find it odd that Nakmund added that rule.
I'm not. That's the way that, like, every tournament was, like, fucking with people. And that's the way the meta was going, so them doing that just to kind of fuck with the meta and keep things a little bit more sane is the purpose for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that I like it or anything, I don't. I really wish I could take my Cadians and my Catachan, or, you know.
Has to be one or the other now.
Yep. And I say, and that's the part that's really a kick in the nuts to the Guard too. Yet again, with the Guard, is the fact that everyone else, the only difference between one faction and another for like sub-faction is a paint scheme. For Guard, it's a completely separate model range. Cadians are completely different than Catachan, are completely different than Valhallans, are completely different than the Death Corps of Krieg.
And most of those sub-faction specific models are out of print.
Yeah. That may be the reason why the Guard are taking so long, is that they're probably going to redo all of the guys that are in pewter and put them in plastic.
In like sets of 2.
I would hope that they're doing the same with Cadians. They'll just have two different kits, the command squad and the regular infantry squad, and then you can just buy them that way and build whatever you want.
You know what I mean by sets of 2. Like Cadians and Mordians go together.
Yeah. They just had a whole...
Because for the most part,
the head.
it's a slight change in torso and head.
Yeah.
Between Cadians and Mordians.
Yeah. Like, well, no, Mordians don't have the cargo pocket that Cadians do.
Unfortunately, that's a fate thing, and it's long been established that GW hard limits the number of models you can build by limiting the number of feet.
Yeah, limiting the number of legs that are in the kit, yeah.
Unfortunately, that also means that only arms, torsos, and heads could be switched out.
Yep. Well, the problem is that figuring out what pairs with Cadians for legs, I'm not sure if it would be Mordians. I would have said maybe Armageddon, but that's clearly going to be with Krieg.
Yeah, as Catachan will be with Talon.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that leaves by process of elimination what? Valhallans?
Yeah, well, Valhallans will definitely be with Destroyans. Because then you don't need to do anything for the whole torso. You can have the torsos be the same. They both wear greatcoats.
Mm-hmm. It's just a change in hats.
Well, and accessory, too.
And in theory, you could put 2 sets of legs in there then, because the torsos would be the model limit.
Yeah.
Though by the same stretch, if you're adding 2 sets of torsos, 2 sets of heads, and everything else, you could just kit bash another squad through.
Mm.
So I think a unified limiter would be the better idea there.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the legs. It almost always is. Well, I mean, it is for the orcs, at least, I know for a fact.
And it is by the guard kits. I've seen it myself. So, unfortunately, we went through all the regiments. And Cadians have to go with Mordians, unfortunately. It's the only 2 left.
If that's the case, then Mordians are going to have a redesign on their uniform, then. Because I don't see them redesigning Cadians at all.
Well, other than having their uniforms perfectly pressed and cleaned and yada yada yada, is there any true conformity of uniform? And I mean, within regiment, of course there would be. Every member of the regiment would have the same type of uniform. But I mean, regiment.
They're all supposed to have the same flak jacket. That's the only difference. And even then, sometimes they don't all wear it, because Katachan don't wear it.
I meant within just the Mordian.
Just the fact that they're all wearing a dress uniform, that's it.
Right, but the precise style. Of course, within the regiment, every Mordian would have the same type of dress uniform, but one Mordian regiment and another might have slight variation of said dress uniform.
Yeah. Usually that would come down to, like, color, or where the medals and, awards that they've won are placed on their uniform.
And of course, God forbid, there's a mud scuff on the shoe.
Mm-hmm. I say I don't like Mordians simply because they don't like Cadians.
And Mordians are
stuck up.
I honestly love their order, but I hate their main regiment rule right now.
Yeah.
It's like a defensive or leadership buff, but you have to make sure all your models' bases are touching.
No, that's not too bad of an idea to do either.
You get what I mean. It's stupid crap from early 8th edition.
Yeah. Well, that gives a little bit more flavor to it too, though. Because the Mordians do specialize in, like, gun lines, right? So them being shoulder to shoulder and making sure their base is touching, that adds flavor to otherwise just would be a kind of bland rule. So I'm kind of okay with that.
I'd like to see more along the lines of, say the squad is entirely end-to-end within 5 inches. So no model is more than 5 inches away from any other model in the unit. Maybe even reduce that to 3. And if you do that, you get 1+1 to hit.
Okay. That'd be cool.
Because it's gun line, really, really tight, especially if it's 3 inches. You try and get the models into a 3-inch area.
Well, it's essentially you're just going to be making 2 ranks of 5.
Yeah, that would get you just over 5 inches away, furthest model to furthest model. Because it's 25 mil base, that's about an inch. Go diagonally, which adds a little bit. Because in theory, front rank, far left side, the furthest away is back rank, far right side.
Well, here I can prove it to you. We can test it and prove it. I've got Guardians here, old Guardians, that are on
Which are on 25s.
the 25s, and I got 10 of them. So you do base to base of each Guardian. 5. Stagger them like this. So you've got the ends are going to be closer together. Where's my thing? 5 inches. Easy.
Base to base.
Easy. 5 inches base to base.
Fair enough, and that's a really tight square, ain't it?
Yeah. Well, no, not tight. It's you got a little bit of wiggle room, but only a little bit.
So it might be a little bit more than 5 inches, just to make it a little bit easier on players.
Maybe 6 inches.
Yeah, but it would require really tight grouping to get that +1 to hit.
I say, you're giving cannibalistic wizard their palpitations by always saying tight. He's keeps on going giggity.
Yeah. Though, I guess it would also need to have a vehicle side of it, because I guess vehicle units within 3 inches of another vehicle unit gets the same thing.
Yeah, I could see that. I say usually there is a dual rule, one for infantry and one for vehicles. So.
But you see why I'm saying that +1 to hit, because 1, that would be amazing on the guard.
Yes.
And 2, it does fit with the flavor. A gun line usually is pretty good at putting out sustained, accurate fire, especially Mordians.
The major thing that I kind of want to see, though, is I want to see some of the other regiments get rules that make it so that people will want to take them, but aren't overpowered to make every single person want to take only one regiment. You know what I mean? Because that's the way it works now with some of these things for tournament meta, is that there is the catch-all sub-faction that everyone chooses. It's cookie cutter, and everyone just goes for that one every time. And that shit is so goddamn boring.
Well, Cadians are honestly ones I wouldn't mess around with. Stand still, get reroll 1s. Maybe full rerolls innately, just to bump up its power a little bit.
Well, you do get that if you're issued the take aim order, which is in addition to things like first rank fire, second rank fire. That's the reason why everyone's choosing Cadians right now, in terms of all the people that are speculating about the whole thing with Hammer and the Emperor, is because Cadians are the only ones that can fish for those auto hits.
Doesn't take aim only say failed if it's done with Cadians?
Okay, if you move and you are issued take aim, it's reroll 1s. If you are stand still and you are Cadian, it is reroll 1s. If you stand still, are Cadian, and are issued take aim, it's reroll all failed. Which, again, you're hitting on 4s, so half of your hits are going to be picked up and re-rolled. That would be fishing for 6s. You can turn a straight up miss into an auto wound.
For me, it's the get rapid fire at 18 inches from Armageddon that I think could do well with it. Just get you easier first rank fire.
Yeah. I mean, there's veracity for some of them. I'm just saying that the one that everyone's taking into consideration for all of this is Cadian, simply because of the fact that you reroll so much with the Cadians. That you can turn straight up misses into auto hits.
More than auto hits. And yeah, I do like Cadians quite a bit. Unfortunately, how do you get new regiments without your planet?
They've claimed a new planet. There's New Cadia.
And it still puts out as much stuff?
Yep. There's a whole book called Trader's Rock, where the first rank, or the first recruitment of Cadian White Shields are inducted into combat and are led by survivors from Cadia.
Old veterans leading the new Cadian regiments.
Mm-hmm. Although the White Shields were all recruited from naturally born Cadians who had children who were not on the planet at the time. Which there were enough to make a full cadet roster of White Shields.
Which is fair enough. Though, I would say Armageddon's faced just such an invasion before, and it's still around.
Mm-hmm. It also didn't have a Chaos War Master throw a hissy fit and throw his toys on the ground and say, "I'm going to take my toys and go home."
Oh, I'm pretty sure Gazgruel would try.
He did, with rocks, but Armageddon wasn't destroyed. That was the problem. And that has as much to do with the Navy, or has way more to do with the Navy than it does the Cadians.
Oh?
Yeah, the Navy fucked up, man. They weren't able, like, the Phalanx got its ass kicked and then wasn't able to stop the Blackstone Fortress from falling on Cadia. That's a naval fuck-up, not an army fuck-up. It wasn't the Cadians that... And I say the meme about the planet broke before the Guard did, that's true. Cadians were winning the ground war.
The Navy just couldn't exactly deal with the Blackstone Fortress and the Vengeful Spirit.
Well, no, they dealt with the Blackstone Fortress. The Blackstone Fortress was destroyed. The Phalanx in the Blackstone Fortress slugged it out, and the Phalanx was, like, irreparably damaged. But the Blackstone Fortress was destroyed. All hands lost. But what it was is that then Abaddon decided to take the Vengeful Spirit and push the wreckage of the Blackstone Fortress so that it falls on Cadia.
But he should have disabled the Vengeful Spirit too, then!
They tried. But the Phalanx was already, damaged, so it couldn't do anything.
And I'm pretty sure the rest of the Cadian Defense Force Navy wasn't exactly able to bring down a Great Crusade era battle barge.
And I say, you know who shares the blame much more so than the Cadian regiments on the planet? The Space Wolves and the Imperial Fists.
What were the Wolves doing?
They were the ones that were sent to intercept the Vengeful Spirit, and they failed.
Well, what did you expect? The little bastard ran at the side of the ships.
Let's say also you can see all of this in a really fucking cool cinematic for the beginning of Battlefleet Gothic 2. It's a whole it shows the Imperial Navy defeat around Cadia. And when I say defeat, I mean just the fact that they let Cadia fall.
I don't like how you say they let it fall.
Well,
I'm pretty sure they, like you said, the Phalanx was pretty much done for.
Yep.
So, I'm pretty sure the condition of the rest of the Naval Task Force wasn't much better.
Yeah. They could have done something, but they didn't.
Are you certain at that point any Imperial Navy vessel would be able to handle a Great Crusade era battle barge and disable it?
Yeah. If you've got enough ships, yeah. You had the entire Battlefleet Gothic there, in addition to Battlefleet Cadia.
With which I'm pretty sure the Vengeful Spirit wasn't allowed.
No. But at the same time, you know, you'd figure that you'd be able to handle it if you've got Astartes backup.
Most of them are probably on the ground. Like you said, the Phalanx, which was probably one of the major Astartes fleet assets there, was not. No, it was out. Out. Are you saying the Imperial Fist brought a few battle barges as well?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
The only the other army that was technically there, but unfortunately only had a token fleet with which to do any sort of real damage were the Blood Angels, and the only person who was there was Asterath the Grim. The reason why is because everyone else was back on Baal defending it from High Fleet Leviathan.
And I'm guessing this little Blood Angel task group only went there because going back to Baal to help them, but this disaster is closer. We might as well help it there.
Well, let's put it this way: at the end of the book Dante, Asterath sends out an astropathic message to Dante saying, "Hey, 13th Black Crusade, you want to send some forces over here," and then Mephiston says the Shadow and the Warp is coming to Baal.
Gather what's available, go to the 13th Crusade, and everything that can't be instantly is near that area already, get your ass back to Baal.
Pretty much. That was Dante's call.
And of course, he signaled the Blood Angels equivalent of the last wall protocol.
Yeah. I think they called it the Conclave of Blood, where all of the chapter masters for all of the successor chapters came to Baal.
And basically, after an impassioned speech from Dante, agreed, we're bringing all our chapters here.
Pretty much. I think the only one to bring full strength, though, was the Flesh Terrors.
More because all the other chapters, parts of their little forces were engaged and couldn't just disengage and run off.
Some of them, yes. Some of them because they felt slighted by Dante. Yeah, Space Marine pride, yeah. It's just something that even...
And I know I shouldn't get frustrated because I am well aware of how bad it is in Space Wolf Land.
Yeah, I would say about the only ones that don't really have to worry about it too much are the Salamanders. Salamanders view their... Like, everyone else calls the successor chapters their cousins. Salamanders the only ones that call them brothers.
Well, obviously. One big, happy, huggy family.
Mm-hmm. That burns Eldar children alive.
Hey! they dare to raid Prometheus, they're gonna get it.
You mean Nocturne?
Whatever. They dare to raid it, they deserve it.
What I'm referring to is specifically there was a campaign that was the Night Lords and Salamanders, and come to find out it was a war of compliance, and come to find out that this war was being fought by humans who were being led by Craftworld Eldar, and there was a remembrancer that Vulcan had some fondness for, and freaked her out because of his reaction to what Conrad Kurz had done to one of the settlements on the planet that they were meant to claim. Conrad Kurz killed every man, woman, and child and hung their bodies from lampposts. And Vulcan was quite understandably upset, and when the Remembrancer came to ask Vulcan about it, Vulcan freaked out on her, and she ran away in terror because it's a fucking Primarch who is angry. Get the fuck out.
I mean, yeah.
So after that, though, Vulcan was trying to find her to apologize, and that is when one of the Eldar leader cadre planned a revolt against the Imperial forces that had pretty much won at that point. An Eldar child tried to stop everything happening. You know, the Imperial forces subjugating the human population who were being led by the Eldar. And Vulcan took it upon himself to burn the Eldar child alive.
Because in his view, the Eldar's manipulations had led Kurz's actions to being required.
It was mainly by the fact that Vulcan was having a crisis of faith, brought about entirely because of Conrad. Conrad was saying that the Primarchs were just weapons. They were all killers. And Vulcan was expressly and diligently saying that he was nothing like Conrad, only to then, in this moment of weakness and rage, because that Remembrancer was part of the people who were killed in the stampede caused by this Eldar child, that he just mercilessly burnt the Eldar child alive.
Yeah, there's the detail that makes me understand why Vulcan would go that far.
That's crazy.
Everyone thinks Vulcan is this huggy, nice guy. Sure he is, but he's also the slow to angry type, and when he gets to that point, he might be more frightening than angry.
Well, he's not more frightening than Angron. I'll say this, he's stronger than Angron.
That's part of the fear factor.
He nearly decapitates Conrad Kurz with a single blow to the head.
With a hammer?
Unpower armored. With a fist.
Poor Conrad. Well,
to be fair, you should really listen to Vulcan Lives. It's a good story. But that's also when you unequivocally find out that yes, Vulcan is a perpetual, and they go into talking about the nature of perpetuals. Conrad Kurz kills Vulcan like 20-something times
before he realizes that that's not going to work, and then tries to break his spirit. This is right after SVM 5.
Yes. Which he kind of does, but not quite. He makes Vulcan realize that the same sort of approach that Vulcan had for most of his life is not going to work anymore, and and hardens his heart a little bit more for the way things are in the galaxy.
Yeah, because monsters like Conrad aren't just a one-off.
Well, that was part of it too, is that Vulcan made a weapon specifically for Horus, and this is before Horus had declared for the Dark Gods. And in the meeting where Vulcan was going to give the hammer to Horus, he said that he saw a change in Horus and didn't want to give him the hammer anymore. And shortly after that was when Horus declared the Horus Heresy.
Vulcan could see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, before the end of the show.
I'm sorry?
Well, I was saying, before the end of the show, I did want to get your two's input. I saw this little news blip.
Okay.
I'm sure you both played Streets of Rage, right?
Well, I have.
Oh, I know you have, because Team Sega, right?
Hell yeah.
Apparently, the creator of John Wick is gonna do a film adaptation of Streets of Rage.
Really?
How are they gonna do that?
I mean, I could see Streets of Rage being made into a movie. So long as they fill it with 80s action movie tropes. It has to be.
Yes.
You know, I want to see fucking Lethal fucking Weapon. Only with, you know, people punching people instead of shooting.
See, yeah, because like John Wick films were fucking awesome. So it's one of those, oh shit, just please take a cue from Sonic and stay as close to the source content as you can, you know?
Yeah. That would be way better. Way preferable.
Yes.
We'll have to see. When the trailer comes out, I will judge it harshly because I love Streets of Rage. I would have thought that Final Fight would have gotten it first because Capcom. And Capcom is a whore and loves to sell out their franchises to really, really shitty movies.
Well, maybe the success of Sonic 2 is looking at them and they're like, hey, you know, maybe, dude, if we get an Altered Beast movie, fuck,
dude,
shit.
If these sorts of franchises being really popular movies, if an unintended consequence of this is Sega realizing that their properties are really popular and people really like them, and that they'll go see movies based around them, then maybe, just maybe, they should get back in the console game. I'll consider it all fucking worth it.
Dude, a fucking Crazy Taxi movie.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, yes, I think, holy shit, and it's a Sega universe, and it's all tethered with Segata Sanshiro.
Segata Sanshiro. I say, talking about Sega Universe, I want to see a Jet Set Radio movie.
Oh, yes.
Panzer Dragoon movie. Shining Force movie.
No.
Phantasy Star movie. Although that would be better as an anime. Let's not kid ourselves on that one.
Honestly, the last three that you just mentioned, I think would be like the DC animated type
Oh yeah,
of thing.
fuck yeah.
You know, like you have DC has their film adaptations, and then they have their animated adaptations. And I think Sega, if you're wise, you would do the same thing. You were doing a good thing with Sonic. I hope Streets of Rage does good. You know, I'm hoping it stays within that realm. But yeah, and then open up an animation stuff and do all the fucking. I would love to see an animated Shining Force. How awesome would that? Oh shit! Or a Fantasy Star.
Shining Force would be awesome. That's the major one that I would be like, hell yeah. A Shining Force anime would be awesome. But anyway, we've been going for about an hour and a half. I think it's about time we close up the zoo. Thank y'all for coming out, watching Zoo. Oh, I wanted to clarify something for that was brought up on stream yesterday when Adam and I were talking about minions that are now promoted to full-time minions. Instead of being part-time are now going to full-time. They are Serenity Star, Dr. Functional, and Hate Camel. So congratulations on your promotion, everyone. Saturdays are mandatory. And yeah, I hope you all had a good time watching some paint dry. Be sure to watch tomorrow where Skep Tock is the host. And that's all. Take care, everyone. The zoo is closed.
Bye.